about to find out.
A bit of embarrassment. Let's go. I'm not exaggerating at all. Honestly, you can't wipe the smile off my face. These are delicious. It's like artwork. Hey, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good, mate. What's going on?
Not a lot. I just wanted to check. We're all good to go for tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah. Right, man. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
You will. Lunchtime. See you then. All right. That was Ryan. He runs Hi-Tec Oils Toowoomba Speedway. He's always been very good to us and a big reason why Sprint Car Hub gets to be what Sprint Car Hub is. Now I need to give a call to Brody Tullock from Tolbro Motorsport Rental because that's the car I'm driving and I need to just double check that I'm good to drive his car.
Yeah, mate.
Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. I'm nearly getting ready to leave, but we're having a big load up night here tonight, mate.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a call to make sure everything's still good to go.
We are rock solid, ready to roll, mate. Just walk up to the car, they'll be expecting you.
Thank you so much, man.
Too easy, mate. Talk to you.
See you, bye.
Yeah.
It's too easy, right? But I do have a couple of problems. One is I don't have a license to practice. And two, I don't even know if my gear is ready to go. I better get those things sorted. $60 to drive a sprint car. Okay. What does that say? Your license has been granted. Cool. I have a license to practice in a sprint car now. I don't know if I fit in my gear still, so let's go check that out. See how dirty that is? That's how long it's been. I'm not even joking, I genuinely don't know if I'm going to fit in my old grey suit. Alright, here comes the moment of truth. Oh my god. I don't know if... Now, I don't know if that looks as tight as it feels, but it wasn't this tight when I had it made. Okay, so we've got everything fits. I've got a license. The car's good to go. I'm good to get on the track. It's less than a day away. I've got to pack a camera bag, a clothes bag, and the race bag. I think I'll probably just put it all in one this time, to be honest. We're getting pretty close now. I've had just over maybe 4 hours sleep, but it's race day or practice day. We're on the way to pick Matt up, then go to the airport, land at Brisbane, drive to Toowoomba, and then we get to hit the track. Just as we got there, I made sure to say a quick hello to Ryan in his office before we checked out the track. I think the track's going to be pretty juiced up, and then they've told me that they've added a bit of clay up the top, flattened out the bottom a bit. So for the first time back in, 6 years or so, I think she's going to be pretty fast tonight. Just what I wanted for my first time back on track. 2:30. We're just waiting on the car and trailer to show up. I think it's a big 48-foot trailer it's coming in on. So it turned out that it wasn't quite a 48-foot trailer for my car, but that didn't matter. I met the team, they unloaded while I fitted some cameras to the car, and then signed on for the night. I got asked if we're putting GoPros on. Yes, we're putting GoPros on. They're not bad luck. And now it's starting to feel a bit more real. I haven't gotten into my suit yet, obviously, and starting to get a bit more nervous. Rain's cleared, it looks like, so we are going out on track. I gotta go get in the suit and then get fitted with the belts, make sure I'm happy, and we go from there. These are delicious, but it's not gonna help me fit in my suit, which I've got to do right now. No more eating for the rest of the night. Got the special boots. No, it's actually like comforting at the back, like supports you rather than just a bit of air. Oh yeah, this way better. Look at that, we're making progress already. Fucking hot in here.
You're getting nervous, mate.
No, I'm sweating bullets. It really didn't take much to get me comfortable in the car, so that was a real relief. The Tollborough team even got a wing cap decal made for us, which was a nice touch. They put that on while I went to sort out my one-way radio and ran into Paul Morris along the way. What do I say about a radio check? I'm not sure how to set this thing. I didn't think I could fucking hate these things more. There we go. Unsafe. Safe. We're good. I just got reminded, hey, do you want to put some tear offs on? I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I know a lot of guys actually use a tool to adjust these, because they're on a cam, these tear off spuds. They put the tear offs on and then tighten them back up, tighten up the tear off. But I always found, like, if you get them set right, you don't need to do that. It's been so long since I've had to put tear offs on. It's like I'm reminding myself how to do it as I do it. The longer it's been since I last raced, the more out of touch I feel. And I also, like, sometimes I struggle with the Sprint Car Hub content because I want to explain what a driver's feeling, what they're thinking, what the team's thinking, what they're trying to do, what's going through their head to help the viewer's experience. But the longer ago it is, the more difficult that is to do. All right, that is a stack ready to go. Look at that. It's like artwork. All good. All right, enough rooting around. It was finally time to fire up the car for engine heat. I kind of surprised myself with how I remembered to do things I would always do back when I was racing. Things like checking the wing ram works when first starting the car, taking my helmet off before I even got back to the pit, and then turning back the fuel tap to bring the revs up and warming up the engine. That was so cool. Just to like fire it up, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it's like.
Let's go, mate, alright?
Yeah, I thought of you as soon as I started up. I was like, I feel at home.
Yeah, you will, mate.
It was really cool. We, as soon as it fired up, I mean, Paul Morris is here with his son now, and I said to him before, I'm like, I'm not sure what to expect. I feel like My dad told me you're gonna feel the, there's the smell, there's the vibration and the shaking and speed and all that sort of stuff. And I wasn't sure what to expect. And then as soon as I fired up, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it's like. And I felt at home. I don't want to sound too much of a wanker, more of a wanker than I already am, but I mean, everything just felt so natural and like I knew what to do. Everything works well. We're about to go out for our first session. What time is it? It's 6:03, so we're about to go out for our first session. I'm just excited to rip some laps. I think the track's a little bit greasy. Honestly, you can't wipe the smile off my face. It's so cool to be back in a car. Alright, first session just finished. We're about to go out. Here we go. I honestly just don't know what to expect out of the car or me, so we're about to find out. I feel unfit. Like seriously, with like 2 or 3 laps to go, I'm like, I'm like, is he putting a flag out or what? Like, I don't think there were flags at all, but
that's good.
The vibration, like everything, and not your car, just it's a sprint car, right? Like shit shakes. 1 and 2 I was okay. 3 and 4 I'm like, I'm gonna wreck every lap, especially in 3 and 4 because it's such a tighter corner. I feel like I'm laid over on the right straight away. I think what's happening is it's so easy to get in, like I've probably got too much stagger or something, which I don't think was a bad thing overall for the first session, you know what I mean? But then, like I come into 3 and 4, and I think what's happening is I'm getting off the gas.
You're getting off the gas
because I feel free,
really low.
And then everything loads onto the right, and then I feel like if I'm a meter higher, and don't get me wrong, my lines were not, like, you know, yeah, like I'm not.
It's pretty good though.
Bro, if that session went much longer, my laps were going to get bad.
It was pretty good to be under 12 seconds.
I don't know what I was, but all I know is I was like, I'll leave some space in case I catch these guys. Didn't see them. You know? I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, a couple laps to go and I'm like... Yeah, Toowoomba's such a funny track. Like, had both corners been like, say, 1 and 2, then you probably would have been like, oh, he looks a lot better, you know, but... It's that 3 and 4, I'm like, do not wreck this car.
If you enter too low and don't sit on the bottom,
well, it's slick.
Then you will be up there.
It's slick, so you're like, I'm going to be loose down there. But then I'm like, there's where you want to be, then marbles, and it's a tighter corner. So you're like, what are you going to enter higher, are you? There was a few times where I'm like, coming up, but I was okay.
You kept it straight though.
Yeah, but
What you can do is when you get around, just drive it down.
yeah, honestly, yeah. I just, man, like such a. Oh, I moved the wing back a bit. Like early on, like bring it back, just to be a bit tighter. I think what's happening, I'm not tight getting in, and then that's why it's leaning over on the right. It's turning, I'm lifting, and it's tight.
It's so
you know
easy,
what I mean?
It's so easy turning because when you lift, the car just falls downhill.
Yeah, but it's like in 3 and 4 there, I'm like over on the right, and I'm like, no, you're not tight. You're so loose that you're lifting and then getting tight. It's a sprint car, but like, it's not how it used to feel. Do you know what I mean?
It's different.
Well, it's what I mean is like,
They've come a long
I
way.
used to like, I'd go out there and be like, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm so out of touch, you know? And I hate to say that. The thing I hate is like, you go out there and watch 24 cars go out and battle. And it's like, do you realize what you're watching right now? Those guys are having a crack. You know what I mean? And you're so used to watching good guys do good things that, like, if you can get in a 2-seater, seriously get in a 2-seater because, like, you know, for people who don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because all of a sudden you're just totally different view on everything.
Yeah, but different if you're not steering it.
Yeah, right. But like, that's what I say. Anyone who hasn't driven a sprint car, get in a sprint car, you know, on a practice like this with Toowoomba, right? And like, you know, actually get an idea. You'll think the guy who just ran last and spun out 400 times in his heat race, you'll think he's awesome. Do you know what I mean? Because you're like, I couldn't even do that. I hate not being able to get the most out of something. Do you know what I mean? And do consistent laps, especially with these cars. Like you lift a little bit earlier, you turn more or less, turn for longer, turn all those sort of things, brake, throttle, how much, all those sort of things and where the track's at. Like it all matters so much. And here I am just trying to string the same lap together. You know?
It's pretty consistent though. There's only a couple of laps where you hung it out too much in 3 and 4, but even then you still came off straight. As long as you come off straight, you're still quick.
That's why, yeah, I was, and to be honest, I hardly was, and that's where I knew I wasn't great because I wasn't like mashing the throttle trying to squeeze the shit out of it. And I wasn't like, I think that's also knowing what to do, like give it a squirt, but don't go in and like, again, those first few laps, don't just be like, what's it got? Because you don't know if it's going to turn too much, you don't know what's going to happen. You know?
That was fine. The only thing to make it quicker would just be track position, just where you run, where you enter, and when you lift.
And that's the other thing, like, here I am trying to just put it in the right spot, wherever that is. And yeah, like, imagine doing that in a heat race. Oh, you need to move a bit higher or go under that guy. Man, I'm not picking a line, I'm just trying to pick somewhere there, you know? I was like, yeah, thereabouts.
That was really good.
Bro, I'm gassed. I feel so unfit. Like, that's the one thing that really stood out to me. Literally with 2-3 laps to go, like gradually I'm just getting worse and worse with my fitness, and I just somehow it gives me a whole new appreciation for watching these guys, and I already knew that, but being in the car and doing it again, I mean, when you watch those guys go out there and go for it, it's nuts. And to be honest, there's like a bit of embarrassment. What was I did a 12 flat, like that's 1.6 seconds off the lap record, which isn't slow. And don't get me wrong, that track is not a track record track, but and I'm in a car I've never driven before, haven't driven for 6 years, or you know, all those things. But yeah, it just kind of blew my mind. I think, you know, I expected to not be able to squeeze the most out of it, but in a way I'm also embarrassed that I'm not getting the most out of it, because it was like, hey, you're that guy that talks about what they need to do. I know what they need to do, but applying it, I've always known, is a whole separate thing, right?
I was genuinely exhausted after the first session, so this time I made sure to record my heart rate on my watch. Oh, and the Clay Review guys showed up as well, so we got some footage from them too. turns 3 and 4 is a lot tighter at Toowoomba, and after how I felt in the first session, I was just petrified of sliding up into turn 3 and then getting into the wall. And to be honest, there were a few times where it almost felt like I was going to do just that.
I did better, but I felt better. I think because I knew what to expect going out for that one. As the session goes, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. But at the same rate, it's like I'm also get more tired too. And it's like I almost have like a breather lap where I'm not as hard, and then I'm like, right, have a crack, really, and then you mess it up, because you're not getting where you want to be. But it's, yeah, and I will say that's the other thing is like
you can go another car with tires.
Yeah. See, the thing is yeah, and then there was a couple of laps there where I'm sliding up. I'm like, don't fucking put this thing in the wall. I've done it. I've done it here. I've done exactly that,
Okay, so we asked some questions on our Sprint Car Hub social pages, and we got some questions, so we wanted to answer some of them. First of all, why did I stop racing? So I've got bad eyes. I got glaucoma, or as my mum calls it, glaucoma. I'm not sure which one's right, but basically if you're 60 plus you might get that, but got it when I was like 20, 19. So I've had 4 surgeries on my left eye. I've had cataract surgery. My eyes have just never cleared up. I used to wear glasses. I now wear a contact in my right eye. My left eye is so average that even wearing glasses or putting a contact in is really not much help. And basically I can't even pass a medical to go racing anymore. That's the only thing, just because of my eyesight. So I also, to be honest, even if I could, I wouldn't do it because I just don't want to do something half-assed. Another question that we got was, what is different about the cars since I last raced? And to be honest, sprint cars don't really change too much. Come over here. Sprint cars don't really change too much. They're pretty prehistoric. They're kind of dinosaurs, but they have changed a little bit since I last raced. First of all, these gravel bars or these cockpit bars to strengthen the roll cage and just strengthen the cockpit area. They're now mandatory. When I look at some of the shocks, I remember we didn't have these complicated sort of shocks where you can just adjust them so easily. I mean, there's probably a bunch of different things. We don't have them in here, but or they're not here right now, but the bleeders that sit in the axles, they've developed over the last few years. Let's also have another look. Another thing that they've just introduced is these torsion bar retainers in the rear end. They're in the front end as well, but that rule came in about, I think, 11 seasons ago when I was racing. Over the right rear here, you'll notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Zeus buttons. When I raced, there only needed to be 3. I think one flew off, I think at a World of Outlaws race. So you got to have, I think it's a minimum of 5, I could be wrong, or you got to have 3 bolts holding it on. I'm sure some other stuff has changed since I last raced. I've got to have this Tezuda thing on the helmet, which is what it is. I don't know that it's necessary, but all right, I think it's time for our last session. Let's go.
Said to myself just before I went out, I just wanted to put consistent laps together, which I think that's a pretty good indication of where I'm at. And it's an emotional thing for me, to be honest, to get back out there, and it's something that, is such a part of my identity to do. And so thankful to the Talbot Motorsport Rental guys. I mean, this is so cool that you can actually do this. These guys will, just about anyone, whether you're an aspiring racer or a very accomplished driver, you could be driving this car. That's what's so cool about it. To be honest, I'm kind of, in a way, I'm proud because I didn't shy away from having a crack. And especially here at Toowoomba. I mean, this place is, I love this place. It's such a driver's track, and I know that's kind of like a throwaway term that not everyone sort of understands, but it's one thing to drive a sprint car, but to a place like this that really gets you thinking at both ends. Like, I'm just constantly thinking. You can't just drive at the same both ends. You got to be thinking about what you're doing and have the car right for that. And I'm just so fortunate to be able to be in this position. And I guess it's off the back of Sprint Car Hub and what we've done. And especially as a commentator, I feel like you need to do a good job at what I'm doing and to know what you're talking about. You need to know about these cars, and I'm so fortunate for this experience. And I know I just blabber on, but it's in a way I wish I didn't do it because the last time I drove a car, I drove the wheels off and I'm like, yeah, I still got it, and now it's a bit of a reality check. And I got no doubt that I could be fit and do the laps and things like that, but my eyes just don't allow. But hopefully for the people who are at home watching this and can see that the Sprint Car Hub, maybe it's for a better thing that we've created, for you to follow and enjoy racing.
I want to say a big thanks to Toby Motorsport Rental for providing the car, and to Hi-Tec Oils Toowoomba Speedway for allowing me to have a skid, because without them I wouldn't be able to bring you, our followers, this video. And if there's one thing that I got out of all of this, is that when we come back for one of my favorite races of the year at Toowoomba, the Red Hot Summer Shootout in January, I'll have a renewed appreciation for whatever happens on track.